And welcome, folks, to the talk show Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And, folks, we got a great conversation that we're going to have this evening. We're going to talk about the mayors who went to Washington, D.C. We're going to talk about Brandon Johnson, the so-called mayor of Chicago, and how he did at the hearing. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know you're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome, folks, to the talk show Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And, folks, we got a great conversation. So first, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Yeshua of Nazareth. That's Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And I want to welcome everybody to the show. Share it around. Folks, you can find us at LinkedIn, David Lowery. You can also go to our YouTube page, which is Moments of Truth 9920. Subscribe to there. You can also go to Rumble, David Lowe 1057, and also subscribe to our channel there. We're in the process of moving to our own television platform. So, folks, we want to continue to bring the news. We'll have different shows that's going to be on the platform, and that'll be educational shows. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. But let us talk about Mr. Johnson. Let me get my co-host in right now. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. You sound all lively and ready to go.
I'm so glad. And everyone, thank you for just working with us. I know new show, technical difficulties. I'm glad that people are giving feedback that they can't hear me. So I got some headphones, so hopefully you can hear me a lot better.
We can hear you now because we want to hear you, what you got to say.
Good.
Listen, Doc, yesterday, and I want to talk about the State of the Union speech. After we did that State of the Union speech, it seemed like everybody else picked up on how the Democratic Party was so disrespectful to DJ, the 13-year-old who survived cancer. And so it's barreling all over the internet right now. But I wanted to say to the American people and patriots across this country, this was a prime example of who really cares about the citizens in this country.
Right.
Because the Democratic Party they've been protecting migrants. They have been pushing for wars. And yet all the stuff that they've been pushing for has been a detriment to the United States of America.
Right.
Especially the Black community. And so when we see things like this, the way they conducted themselves, and I'm telling Black people who watched this was, and and I talked about it being a Black child, but you would think that the Democratic Party would look at the humanitarian side of things. This was a child
Right.
that beat cancer, and you would think that they would, but they are so staunch on the hatred for President Trump that they would overlook that. And so,
Yeah.
to the American people and patriots across this country, we can see why we're in this condition as American citizens, because the Democratic Party, who've been in charge, have made sure that they showed us this time how much they hate the American people, how much they hate the American way of life, and they're trying to push us into communism. What do you think, Doc?
Well, they've shown who they are. There were a lot of Democrats and they didn't have the camera on them all the time, but they were wearing the Ukrainian flag colors.
I saw it.
We're United States citizens. I could, the whole pink thing, like we support women. No one stood up for Lincoln Riley. No one stood up for that 12-year-old girl that was murdered. No one stood up for the woman who lost her husband. Yet you say you support women. No, you don't. You support your causes.
Exactly.
You have a cause, you have an agenda, and that's what you support. And I mean, I saw this weird meme where there's like Jasmine Crockett and AOC and these different members of Congress, and they look like they're jostling back and forth like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter animation character. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, now we're just at the bottom feeder of politics right now. Now, I understand that there are times when people have to play politics, and they'll say that, you have to kind of play both sides and get to a compromise, to get things done. But at this point, this is a freak show. Truly.
Well, to the American people and patriots across this country, there's no such thing as playing politics. Politics were created as a way for the American people to be able to communicate with the federal government, which we the people created.
Right.
And so we've allowed these politicians to get to a place where we let them put themselves on pedestals to order to make us think that they're really, really special people when they're a bunch of crap.
It's bad.
Now let's talk about Miss Crockett for a minute.
It's bad.
Miss Crockett sitting there in her position, and her community where she lives at is suffering.
Yeah.
All the Black leaders who are in Congress, in the Senate, if you look at their communities that they represent, their communities are war zones and there's no economic development.
No, because that's not their focus. Their focus isn't the community. To your point, their focus is to be in those high places and be in positions of authority, but do nothing for the people, but talk about the people all the time, right? They're going to use the voice of the people. Oh, my district this, my district that, and I'm doing this. No, you're not. Your district reflects what you're not doing.
Exactly. And that's what I'm telling the people here in Chicago. Our city has been run down, and it was all by design. Right. Let's start where the real problem started. The real problem started with Barack Obama, who appointed Rahm Emanuel to be the mayor of Chicago. During Rahm Emanuel's term, he got rid of so much economic development. He closed over 400 to 500 schools. Under Rahm Emanuel, they got rid of all the Black teachers. The communities, the Black and brown communities in Chicago, under Rahm Emanuel, died daily. Crime was high. He did nothing to uplift the Black communities. Rahm Emanuel used the Black preachers who helped. It was a total disaster. Yeah. And Barack Obama co-signed it all. Under his 8 years, the city of Chicago suffered greatly. More drugs, nothing. He did nothing to change nothing in the Black community. And I'm saying it to Black people because we have an opportunity now, Black folks here in the state of Illinois, to make a difference. We have an opportunity to get rid of these corrupt Democratic leaders who are doing nothing for our state, nor are they doing anything to assist the Black community. Now, I take offense to what I've seen with J.B. Prisker and Brandon Johnson. They continue to speak words as if the illegals are not citizens, but they're residents. We got citizens sleeping under the viaduct, but we got residents that are here illegal living in 5-star hotels.
Right.
So, Doc, how do you think that they're going to continue to justify this? Because we're going to get into them. I got some tapes for our audience. We're going to get into some tapes and we're going to take them apart because I want the American people and patriots across this country to see the idiocy and the thinking of the Democrats, and that's why our cities are run down. That's why Black people have nothing. And people like Brandon Johnson, Mayor Wu of Boston, the other mayor of Colorado, these type of mayors who don't give a crap about the people, but are concerned with the New World Order because what they're doing is evil. Go ahead, Doc, while I cue this.
Yeah, it's really under, it's a larger part of the United Nations agenda. And they actually have a consortium of mayors across this United States. You can look it up. You can look up United States mayors with the United Nations. And what you're going to find is it'll send you to a website and all of these mayors, and it looks great on, it's like, oh, they're just sharing information. It's like, no, they're trying to get them on one page.
Yes.
To overrun the country at the local level. See, people don't realize how powerful the local level is. That is why we do have a separation of state and federal, right? So the federal government can't just run over the state, nor can the state run over the individual citizens living in that state, right? So there's a balance of power. But what the United Nations has figured out, if we can capture the mayors and the city councilmen and the commissioners, we can truly run the United States without being in the United States. And that's what's happening to us.
Well, I want to say this while I set this clip up. To the Chicagoans who voted Brandon Johnson in, Brandon Johnson has totally abandoned the citizens of Chicago. He has taken on a new form. You can look at him and tell that he looks as if he has lost his complete soul. He is talking like a robot.
Yeah.
You can see from the way he answers questions that he is so scripted because he's terrified. He's terrified. And I'm telling you, to have Barack Obama coaching you, to have Rahm Emanuel coaching you, to have Lori Lightfoot, the crook coaching you, to have all of these people coaching you to help you, but basically to the American people and patriots across the country, basically they was trying to teach him how to avoid answering questions that would incriminate him.
Yeah. I watched part of it, and I guess they asked him about his budget. It was Brian Donalds. And he asked him about his budget. He was like, so what's your budget, Mayor? What's your budget? And when he got to Brandon Johnson, he didn't know. He did not know what the budget was. And all the other mayors could just rattle it off. He was like, how do you not know where your city is? Like, what is going on?
Well, that's why I say let's drop this clip in right quick. And like I said, to the citizens of Chicago, we don't have to live like this, and we don't have to take this leadership up. Dan Bolin, who's a friend of mine who has got the recall for the mayor, go to the internet, look for recall the mayor, and sign those petitions. Because when I show this clip, Brandon Johnson as a mayor should be finished. We should know that he is incapable and inept to do the job here in Chicago, and we should seek to remove him. Again, that's recall the mayor here in Chicago. Dan Bolin, look his name up, you'll find it, and sign that petition so that we can get this idiot out of our city government.
Records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. So I'd ask you, sanctuary from what?
If you're referring to the number of individuals that were bused from Governor Abbott without any coordination, the 52,000 individuals that were seeking asylum, those individuals were bused to us. I passed a bus ordinance to work to coordinate with the governor of Texas. He refused to do that. But that transfer of individuals was the result of the governor of Texas, not the result of a welcoming city ordinance.
Welcoming city ordinance. So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border. From
They were
Governor
not
Abbott.
welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the welcoming city ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies, and that's why we're seeing a decline in violence.
So you
in the
don't
city of
care
Chicago.
about federal law enforcement policies, only local policies?
We comply with all laws. What I do care about is this body, Washington, passing comprehensive immigration
So
reform.
let me.
Now, I want to stop it there, Doc, because I want to talk to you a little bit about this.
Okay.
You see how scripted he is?
Yes. He's afraid to speak.
He
Really
is.
afraid to answer. He's afraid that he's going to answer the wrong way.
Well, the thing of it is that they have already told him, and I'm stopping this segment by segment because I want to talk about it, because look at his demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how he's sitting. He's terrified. He has no confidence because he doesn't even understand the city budget. Because to the citizens of Chicago, remember Mayor Johnson split his power up and he had 12 other deputies instead of him being the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, these other mayors that he got are the ones that are working with him, and he's so stupid that they're doing what they want to do, but he already know what they're doing. They scripted him so that he could make sure that he can try to save that federal government money. Doc, what do you think about that?
I think it's really sad. And he's stuck into a corner right now. I mean, this representative is saying, so you're not a sanctuary city? And if you are, who are you welcoming? It's like, yeah, we're going to get you on record saying that you accepted illegal immigrants into your city. You're not going to put this off on Governor Abbott. You welcome these people and you wrote an ordinance for it. Like, man up and admit what you did, but they're not. And then they want to turn around, and he's doing the same thing that the lady from Boston is doing and saying, well, you guys need to come up with better immigration reform. No, we don't. Because it's already there. It's already on the books. They're not following the law.
We did come up with some federal immigration laws. We got rid of Joe.
Let me ask you this. Chicago residents reported 28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone, cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. Now, also, state funds, $160 million, were issued to illegal alien job assistance shelters in Chicago. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you? And who do you serve?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
Illegal or not, criminal or not. How many of the 662,566 illegal aliens with criminal histories that ICE has reported are now residing in Chicago?
Someone will have to get back with you with that number. I don't keep account of.
Do you take immigration information from criminals as they're arrested and processed? Do you take immigration information?
Our local law enforcement focuses on getting all violent individuals off the streets of Chicago.
Do you determine whether they're here legally, what their immigration status is, as a function of your justice system?
Time's expired, but please feel free to answer the question, Mayor.
The Welcome in City ordinance ensures that our local residents communicate and trust local law enforcement to ensure that criminals and crime is being addressed, and that's why violent crime has gone down in the city of Chicago. Thank you very much.
Chair now recognizes.
Because when we get to I mean, sorry to, spoiler alert, when we get to Wu, she's going to say the same thing. And you notice they keep saying residents. They don't say citizens. They say
exactly.
residents.
And that's why we doing this show, so the American people can see how the Democrats will use certain words and they'll use certain phrases to try to answer questions. Just he answered the question simply yes or no, but he's incapable of telling the truth on himself.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. But even in these questionings, these type of questionings, you're going to incriminate yourself because of your actions. You can get up here, Brandon, you're a dummy. You are a real dummy. You can get up here and you can make all these scripted answers and say all of this, but at the end of the day, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
You're going to go to jail. You're going to go to prison. Because, first of all, especially me, if I got something to do with it, if I've already contacted President Trump's camp and requested that they cut the funding off in Chicago completely until they do a Doge audit here.
Okay.
That's what that was my request. I sent the kite to President Trump and said, you know what? Just cut the funding. Just like when I said, cut the funding to Ukraine. They cut the funding, didn't they?
Yeah.
President Trump cut the funding here in Chicago. Cut the federal funding that stopped Brandon Johnson them from taking federal dollars and putting it in their pocket to cover the deficit that they created with the illegals.
Yeah. It's so sad that they're leaving the citizens of Chicago stuck with the bag, and the schools that were closed and then reopened as migrant shelters.
Yes.
The new, I think there was like a new recreation center that had just been opened. They turned that into a migrant shelter after people had fought for that for their community. And you told the people in that community, there's no money to do anything for you. And so they fought, they band together, they got it open, and then you turn it into a migrant shelter and took it away from the citizens. Like,
that was over on the west side. I think it was one of the Arbor schools, but what happened was this school was facilitating the Black community. It had all sorts of sports programs for single mothers. They had good basketball teams, football teams, baseball team. I mean, the whole 9 yards. They were having mentoring where these young boys could talk to coaches and men, great for the Black community.
Right.
But when Brandon Johnson welcomed, and let's be clear, because I hate the fact that he tried to say what Greg Abbott did. Greg Abbott did what Brandon Johnson and all the rest of those mayors told him what to do. They said, we are a sanctuary city and we welcome all illegals here in Chicago and New York and Boston. That's what Brandon Johnson said. And now for him to sit here at this session and tell especially people in Chicago, tell the American people that it's the governor of Texas' fault that he got these illegals after he blaze-faced lied and begged for them to come, Doc.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad mainly because we shouldn't be here. We already have federal laws in place to protect the citizens of this country, to avoid people coming here illegally. And this was forced upon us by our own federal government and accepted at the local level. And even at some certain states, at the state level, they completely violated the rights of any citizen in this country. Every citizen. And it's a slap in the face to people that go about immigration the right way.
Well, folks, to the American people and patriots across this country, during the Biden administration, I had Krisanne Hall. You can look her up, Krisanne Hall. She's one of the most prolific constitutional lawyers in the country.
Yeah.
And we was on this show. See, for the lack of knowledge of people were perishing, I'm saying this to the Black community. Had we had strong leadership, we would have been able to move the illegal migrants out of our community immediately, because it was the sheriff, Tom Dart, our sheriff here in Chicago, could have called and killed the sanctuary city title, because when he put his hand on the Bible, he swore to uphold the Constitution and the citizens of the United States of America. And it was the sheriff's responsibility to tell Brandon Johnson, no, you are harming Black communities, you are harming Hispanic communities, and the migrants are going to have to get on the next bus and get the hell out of here. Tom Dart, the sheriff of Chicago, could have done that, but he did not do it because he is part of the Democratic machine and he is part of the problem here in Chicago. We reached out for him over a year ago to sit down with him and talk to him about his responsibilities, and he never followed up because he doesn't give a damn about the people of Chicago. He won his paycheck, just like all the rest of these politicians who are getting taxpayer dollars, and we paying their salaries, and they're allowing invasions and this type of stuff to go on in our cities. These type of politicians in the next election cycle, to the American people and patriots across this country, midterms, no Democratic candidate should be allowed to be put into office on a local level nor on a federal level. Let's check out this video of Brandon Johnson again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing on such an important topic. Mayor Johnson, I want to start with you. One of your first actions as mayor was establishing a deputy mayor for immigrant, migrant, and refugee rights. I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as
It's a yes or
Next question.
That's the
no.
policy that we will hold
What
to.
are we
Do you support
doing?
tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of
Then
Chicago.
that's a
That
yes.
is a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction
Yes, he
of
does.
that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people
I'll
of Chicago.
take that
That's
as
a
yes. I've got
yes.
an article
That's a
from the
yes.
Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members.
Wow.
Next question. Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all
That's
women.
a
That is a
yes.
yes as well. Your mayoral transition website mentioned support for creating a Chicago Board of Education non-citizen advisory board. Again, yes or no, do you support appointing non-citizens to government advisory boards?
I was invited here today to discuss welcoming
yes
cities.
or no?
That's a
I was
yes.
invited here to discuss welcoming
This is a
cities.
yes or no
If you're
question.
interested
Sir,
in asking any
it's yes
questions
or
about the
no.
welcoming
I'll
city,
take that as a
I'm
yes.
happy to
We're gonna
answer
move
those
on.
questions.
No, we're going to move on. As you know, President Trump, unlike the previous administration, has taken serious action to bring foreign criminal gangs to justice, to take our border back and to restore public safety in our communities. He designated 8 transnational criminal organizations and cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. These are groups like Tren de Aragua, MS-13, Sinaloa, other of some of the most grotesque and ruthless and brutal organizations in the world. You, as mayor of a sanctuary city, have been virtually giving favors to illegal aliens. Apparently, you support an enormous amount of taxpayer resources going to them as well. But you yourself have also received a lot of gifts. And for those of you who don't know, Mayor Johnson has a secret gift room that is not given access to the public or for access to the Office of Inspector General. I'd like to ask you a couple questions about that. Do you know everyone who's given you a gift since you became mayor?
The city of Chicago has had a policy for
That's
40
a
years
yes or no question.
where there are individuals that would
I'll
like to
take-
give
no,
gifts
no,
to
I'm
the city of
reclaiming my
Chicago.
time. I'm gonna take that as a
and we do
no.
not accept those
When
gifts.
did you
We
become
receive
mayor?
them on
No, I'm
behalf
going to reclaim my
of
time
the city
here.
of Chicago.
You're not going to filibuster here. When did you become mayor?
I was elected mayor of the city of Chicago in April of 2023, and I was sworn in May
That's good. On
15th
June
of
12th
2023.
On June 12th, 2023, you received Hugo Boss cufflinks and a personalized Mont Blanc pin. Do you know who gave you those?
So I did not receive those personally. The city of Chicago
You received those
them.
on behalf
and
of
that's
the city of
right, on behalf of
Chicago.
the city of Chicago,
you know,
as
I
every
understand the
mayor
difference.
in the
Do you know
history
who-
of Chicago who has
Do you know who
provided
gave those
gifts
to the city of
Chicago.
Do you know who gave those?
Yeah,
to
he's
the city
trying to
of Chicago?
overtalk.
So again, on behalf of the city of Chicago, there
It's
are
a yes
gifts
or no
that are
question.
received,
Do
but I
you?
do not
Do you-
accept. Those are not
do you
my
don't-
personal
so you
gifts.
don't know?
Those are the gifts of the
On-
city
on
of
March
Chicago,
18th,
and that's why you are aware
2024
that they exist because they're
reclaim
within the
my
law.
time here, sir. On March 18th, 2024, you received a Gucci tote bag. Do you know who gave you that? Gave the city of Chicago that?
Again, I was here and I was invited
I'll also
to
take that as
respond
no.
to the
On March
questions
19th,
around
2024,
welcoming
the
city, and I'm
city of
happy to answer
Chicago
any of those
received
questions.
A Givenchy bag, a Kate Spade purse, and Carucci shoes. Do you know who gave the city of Chicago those?
Again, I was brought.
I'll
I
take
brought
that
my
as a no.
energy
I'm
here
reclaiming my
to
time
respond
here, sir. I am
on behalf of the
reclaiming
city
my
of Chicago of
This
what a
raises
welcoming city
serious
ordinance
ethical
is.
concerns. You're providing an enormous amount of aid to illegal aliens, aiding and abetting criminals who have come
Yes.
into our country illegally.
Yeah, and you're getting
you
kickback
yourself are receiving an
gifts.
enormous amount of gifts, and you won't even tell us who they're coming
Mr.
from. That
Chairman,
raises
time is up.
serious ethical
We have a
concerns.
5-minute rule.
Wow, this is a disgrace.
Now-
This is just truly a disgrace for our country.
It really is. It's a disgrace for the citizens of Chicago.
Yeah.
We deserve better leadership than what we're seeing right here on this show.
Yeah.
We do not deserve to have a leader like Brandon Johnson representing Chicago. He actually hates the citizens of Chicago because
Yeah.
that's the only way that you could do what you are doing
Right.
is to hate the citizens where you pick everybody over the taxpayers who paying your salary. Doc, what you think about
Yeah.
him?
I thought it was very interesting. He would not answer a direct question, yes or no. And the reason why he did that, because they can go back in the transcripts and say, see, he didn't say yes and he didn't say no.
Yes.
He was trying to answer, but he kept getting cut off. That's why he did what he did.
That let me tell you, that is a Democratic ploy.
Mhm.
Democrats use that. I was on Roland Martin's show once, and he did the same thing to me. When I started to talk about the answers, he overtalked me. He turned my mic down. I mean, but he made himself look bad. And that's why I'm showing these clips. And those who are watching across the country, especially here in Chicago, share this around because you can see the idiocy
Mhm.
of Brandon Johnson. You can see just how unexperienced. You can see just how much he don't care about Black people. He should be answering and saying, you know what? I'm going to shut this down because it's not benefiting Chicagoans.
Right.
Let me take some of this money that I don't blowed and help the West Side and South Side. He is not trying to find answers or find solutions to the real problems in Chicago. He's continuing to try to bullshit the federal government and to keep giving taxpayer dollars to cover the deficit that him and the Democrats have taken from the state and the city of Chicago taxpayers. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. It's not going to work. It's not
Oh.
going to work because he's going to get found out. All of these mayors from Denver, Boston,
All of them.
New York, Eric Adams, he was the only one sitting there that was like, nope, there was no quid pro quo. We did everything that we were supposed to do, this, that, and the other. Yes, we're now working along with Trump. It was interesting because when he was questioned by the Republicans, it wasn't bad. But when he started getting questioned by the Democrats, like they were raking him over the coals.
They
And that was Eric
start
Adams.
raking him over the coals because what Eric Adams did was told President Trump that he was unaware that they were going to do what they did.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And that he got suckered in thinking that they were going to do the right thing. But once he found out and he saw the pattern of what they were doing, he started to speak out. As soon as Mayor Eric Adams spoke out against the Democrats and Joe Biden and the illegal migrants, they automatically found him and charged him with campaign violations to shut his mouth up, or they were going to throw him in jail. That's what they did. And that's why Eric Adams' case was dismissed, because it was a frivolous case.
Yeah.
And Pam Bundy threw it out, and he told to the Democrats watching, Brandon, you watching my show, your ass is going to prison.
Oh, straight up. Straight up. If any of these mayors think that they're protected, they're not.
They're not.
You're not federal employees. You are local municipalities. You are subject to lawsuit. People can sue you civilly and criminally.
And so he's thinking, now let me tell you how this idiot is thinking. See, he done got back home and they done told him, all them idiots sitting behind them Soros sisters, I think one of them from the AK, well, some of my people call me, those are some of the educated fools belong to the Greek organization sitting behind him, trying to keep him reined in, because he's representing all of them. Right. Because see, when they cut that federal money off, the Divine Nine, all of these other Greek organizations who've been getting the money from Chicago. That's why I say, I'm having a conversation with Pam Bundy, and I'm gonna let her know where to look for the bodies that's here in Chicago, so she can actually find out where the money is at.
Good.
Because they got organizations that they done branched off to, certain people getting the money with the fraternities and sororities. They're hiding the money, but they're making the people think that they're actually helping the Black community when they are not.
They're not.
And to Ms. Bundy, President Trump, I do know where the bodies are buried. So do indulge audit here, which we are preparing for. I've been speaking to them. I spoke to them yesterday. We're going to do a Doge audit here, and that way the taxpayers in the city of Chicago will be able to find out why they're in a $4 billion deficit under this mayor's leadership. Here's another one we want to play. And you can see he had been scripted by these lawyers and Obama and all of them. Because I'm saying Obama, because see, the Obama library is not being built.
Right.
It's starting to die because of the fact, one, it never was a library. It was the temple, and the federal government is not going to fund the temple.
Right.
So that's why they're diverting funds trying to get this done. But at the same time, the people in the community, Barack Obama, the people up here in the community of Chicago do not want your ass here. It's clear. And you will not be able to get that temple built because all federal dollars is about to be cut off. I guarantee you that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All of the mayors here today are actively working to harm the American people you represent. You all. I'm going to ask a series of yes or no questions today, and I would like to remind all of you, you are under oath. I only want a yes or a no to my questions. My first question: do you acknowledge breaking into our country as a crime? Mayor Adams, yes or no? Do you acknowledge breaking into our country as a crime?
I acknowledge.
Yes or no?
I acknowledge.
Okay, Honorable Johnson, he's not going to answer the question. Yes or no? Is breaking into our country against the law? Yes or no?
Depends how you cross the border.
Okay, Mayor Johnson, yes or no?
Comprehensive immigration reform policies are what's necessary in this
Mayor Wu,
moment.
do you have a better answer than these gentlemen before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime?
Yes or no? This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor. Yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or no?
and breaks
yes
the
or
law
no.
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions. Mayor Wu, yes or no?
Anyone who's a public safety threat should be prosecuted.
All right,
nobody wants to do it.
question.
I mean, it's a close question. Yes or no?
Do you believe you're on
Hold
the
on.
right side of history?
Stop.
Okay,
Now,
so there's a difference between an open-ended question and a closed question. A closed question literally is Yes or no. She asked
Yes.
a direct question to get a direct answer. What they were doing is trying to turn it into an open-ended answer, which is
And
completely a violation.
right, what they were doing is trying to make an ass out of the person that's asking the question. See,
Right.
those are all those little Democratic tactics. You can never get a straight answer from a Democrat
Or a
because
liberal. It's not
or
so
a
much a
liberal,
Democrat, it's a liberal. It's a
right?
liberal mentality. I'm learning more about it and how thick it is. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
It's really a sickness because they're doing it here in Chicago. You
Mm.
know, and they've been doing it for years. This younger Bermonte Oberdelli is one of the worst here in Chicago with doing that. He grew up here in Chicago. He tried to extort R. Kelly out of money. He tried to extort Dave Winfield out of money. I mean, the Democratic Party in Chicago, there's no honor amongst thieves. And so they have really destroyed the city. But this was the last move. And to the citizens of Chicago watching this show, you can see that Mayor Johnson is an idiot.
It's bad. It's bad. But again, to your point, they are all following the Democrat Party script. This is more about party than it is about the people that they serve in their community.
And that's the point that I'm making to the people watching the show across the country. This has to end because the people of America is more important than the party. If the Democrats and the Republicans cared about the U.S. citizens, we would not be in this problem. If the Democrats cared about the citizens here, they would have never took President Trump to court and to open the borders and end Title 42.
Yeah.
See, I just had a young man to tell me today in the gym. He said, Pastor, man, I watched your show. And I said, yes. He said, I love the way you broke things down and explained them and made them clear, Doc. And I also had a caller the other night that called me about you, Doc.
Uh-oh.
I had a caller to call me regarding something you said about how these people are not accountable. And he was a fraternity brother from the Sigmas. And I'm going to tell you his name. He was here. His name was Mitchell Johnson. And he's also my brother in Christ. We were both ordained by the same bishop, Bishop Troy Gardner at Universal Baptist Church. But Bishop Johnson belongs to the Sigmas, and what he did was he used the program in order to get paid from the program, saying that he was helping the community when he really wasn't. But he took that and he, moved around. He got money just like what Brandon Johnson got, money, diverted funds, and he tried to build himself up in an organization to where he could steal more money. But see, God is not one to be mocked. Because as he built himself up, Brandon Johnson appointed him to a key position in the city. But he got to run in his mouth so much, and he said something against the Jews, and Brandon had to make him resign from the position. You remember that? He had to make him resign from the position. So he called me the other night questioning something that you said. And I told him, we got into it for a minute. And I told Brother Johnson, I said, check this out, Brother Johnson. You're sitting up here supporting Democrats. You're supporting organizations that when you was in trouble, they didn't support you and they threw you under the bus. And the same people that helped you get to the positions were the same people that threw you under the bus. He hung the phone up.
Yeah. I mean, it's how they operate. It's a very sick culture. But again, like I said, I'm learning more about the liberal mindset. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about libertarians.
No, it's the liberal mindset.
A liberal mindset. They think that they are above other people. How dare you ask them a question? And why are you asking them a question like this? And they don't have to answer you. You know what? That is the kind of thing that should get you thrown into prison. I want to see all four of these mayors
go to jail
time.
Well,
for what they did to their constituents.
And also, like I said, the NGOs, these non-governmental organizations who have been sitting back and they've been sucking the money out the Black community, out the federal budget, all that money. I think in the last year, there was about $260 billion that should have went to the Black community, and not one
Wow.
penny of it across the country was put into the Black community. See, these Black leaders make it seem like there is such a deficit and that
Right.
there's no money. The president don't give us money. We have to beg for money, and they get the money already. They divert the money, and then they go begging and saying they have deficit, and that's how they get rich. That's how you see all these Democrats get rich, and they come with nothing. Let's
Yeah,
go
but,
back
and
to
that's why we have a Doge here actually in Georgia, and they're going to start having them all over the country. I'm actually going to be participating in my county in Henry County. So look out for Doge, Henry County on X. I'm going to start posting like different things that we find here that aren't going on the correct way. So
Well, Brandon Johnson, you survived this interview, but I guarantee you, I was on the phone with the Justice Department yesterday, and you will not survive a Doge audit. You and all the rest of the Democrats who have washed money here in Chicago, there is going to be an audit after this thing, what he's done. They're going to subpoena every record, everything,
Good.
all this. It's
Good.
about to happen. And then that's when they're not going to get no money. They're not going to get no more federal money until the federal government find out where all their money went, because they have broke the law by housing, aiding, and abetting illegal aliens in this state.
Straight. Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Can we say that question again?
Okay, Mayor Johnston. When a illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history? Yes or no?
I will charge and prosecute them.
Yes or no? Okay, well, okay. You said you would go to jail, didn't you?
I will
For
charge
harboring
and
illegal
prosecute
aliens or something, Mayor Johnson?
Could you repeat your question, please?
When an illegal alien rapes a woman, do you believe you're on the right side of history?
Could you clarify that question?
Okay, Mayor Wu, yes or no?
No, rape is obviously
Then
horrible.
why are you letting rapists back out onto the streets of Boston?
That is not true. That is
Okay.
not what's happening in
When
Boston.
an illegal alien molests a kid, molests an underage kid, do you pat yourself on the back for being compassionate? Mayor Adams?
It's despicable, and he should be arrested.
Mayor Johnson?
Yes or
Prosecute
no?
folks that commit crimes like that.
You guys let him out on the streets. Mayor Johnson?
We arrest violent criminals in the city of Chicago.
Mayor Wu?
We investigate, arrest, and prosecute.
You guys don't sound very confident today. Would your city honor an ICE detainer on an illegal alien who rapes kids if one was issued today? Mayor Adams? Yes or no?
In conformance with law, we will honor detainers.
Mayor Johnson?
If there's a criminal warrant, we'll help them pick them up. If there's no criminal warrant, we'll honor a notification request.
Mayor Johnson?
Criminal warrants, we always cooperate with federal agents with a criminal warrant.
Mayor Wu?
Get
He's a
criminal
liar.
warrant, we will enforce.
That's a lie. None of them
Criminal
did.
Warrant. I'm talking about an ICE detainer on an individual
That's a
who's
totally
illegally
different
rapes
thing.
kids. Do you all hate Donald Trump more than you love your country? Mayor Adams?
I respect my president. I respect my
Yes or
country.
no?
Yes
You're
or
having the hardest time
no?
today.
Senate.
Mayor Johnston?
I love my country.
Yes or no?
I love my
Okay.
country.
Mayor Johnson?
As the son of a pastor, I love
Get the
everyone and this country.
Mayor Will?
I
He's
love my country
ignorant.
and my city.
Do you all, are you all willing to go to jail for violating federal law? Mayor Adams?
I'm not going to violate federal law, so I don't have to
Just
worry
say
about
no.
Mayor Johnston?
We don't violate federal law either.
You don't violate federal law.
We do not violate federal
Is it
law.
violating federal law if you don't honor detainer requests from ICE?
Absolutely not. In fact, the statute Congressman Biggs shared, we explicitly follow. The statute says you cannot prohibit city employees from sharing information about someone's status with the government. We do not prohibit that.
Do you love illegal aliens more than you love your fellow countrymen?
I love all the residents of the city and county.
Mayor Johnston, are you willing to go to jail for violating federal law?
The city of Chicago complies with all laws.
Oh, I highly doubt that. Mayor Wu?
We are not violating federal law.
Mayor Wu, I have a last couple questions for you. Do you believe that ICE arresting a child rapist, quote, threatens everyone's safety, end quote? Yes or no?
No.
Does ICE arresting a murderous MS-13 gang member threaten everyone's safety? Yes or no?
No.
I would like to hold up this quote of you where you say ICE's efforts actually threaten the safety of everyone, end quote, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. You're a hypocrite. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
I mean, and that's not a gotcha moment. She said these things.
She said them.
And it's criminal. All 4 of them need to be put in jail. But guess what? Anna Paulina, I have to say her name a little bit slower. She recommended all 4 of these mayors to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, for investigation.
Well, I've already recommended Brandon Johnson's name because I also recommended to President Trump not to fund Chicago until they do the Doge. Until they do the Doge and find out exactly where the taxpayer dollars is going to, because Brandon Johnson has already came back to the state begging for $1.6 billion after he done went to get a payday loan for $850 million. Okay?
Like,
So,
I'm sorry, Democrats, like, they have no shame. They have no shame. None.
Well, when they start stealing, they don't care about stealing because they control the records. As long as they got the records, they can continue to lie and say the things that they need to say in order to try to fool and trick the American people. So this is what Brandon Johnson said about the budget yesterday. He said when he was asked about money he spent for the budget on the illegal aliens, he said he spent 1% of the city budget on the illegals. And if you think about it, 1% of 17 billion is $171 million on illegal aliens. Now, those are the numbers that he has spent. More than that, these are the numbers from the budget that are accountable. 17 billion. 1% of that, he said he only spent 1%. 1% of 17 billion is $171 million. With $171 million, the entire city of Chicago could have been renovated. The west side, south side, we had money for our schools. We could have just opened up the schools and started to put our people in those places. No, we could have built apartments. We could have did everything.
Yeah.
With
And
1%
gotten
of that.
people out of your city.
Yes.
I think, and I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, evil is as evil does, and it's stupid.
Well,
but following the UN agenda is what's put the city of Chicago where they are, and even the city of New York, the city of Los Angeles, and even other cities, Boston. They claim to be these all loving, inclusive cities, but in spite, how should I say, they sacrifice the citizens for the safety of criminals. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you even doing this?
Well, that's why I'm so glad a lot of people are watching the show now here across the country, especially in Chicago. To my brother Chicago, other activists, it is time that we started to put ourselves together, because with the elections coming up, the midterms coming up, we can get rid of a lot of the aldermen. There should be all the aldermen who are in office right now with Brandon Johnson. The people in these different wards should be getting a leader together to run against him and remove them out of the office.
Right.
All of these politicians who are in office now across the country in these blue states, there should be grassroots people getting something together to run against them. And I'm not talking about voting for somebody that's got a college degree that belong to one of these fraternities or sororities. Yeah. These people are not the people that should be in charge of anybody's budget, especially the Black community, because they think that grassroots Black people are dumb and ignorant.
It's bad. And if you see somebody coming that has a lot of money behind them, investigate and see who's actually funding their campaign.
Yes.
I know they considered George Soros the boogeyman, but unfortunately, he funded a lot of these Democrats. Those Democrats that you saw on Capitol Hill, they took the Soros money.
They did.
They are beholden to someone of this country.
Well, you know what, Doc, and this is so important, and that's why I want folks to watch this show, share it around, sit down and actually take a look at Brandon Johnson and the type of leader he is. And this is what I mean by educated fools. He's supposed to be an educated Black man. He talked about when he got in office, he talked about how much he was going to do for the Black community. Don't let the white man get in. This was what he ran on.
Yeah.
to trick black people. And black people, look at this idiot. Look at what he did. He turned on the black people, and now he's funding illegals, won't fund our community, won't give us nothing. And now that he's being audited, he's trying to figure out a way to lie like, well, the black people in Chicago think I'm doing a good job. He's a liar.
No, they don't.
He's a liar and a hypocrite. We got this other clip to play before we get out of here, Doc. Okay. This is Brandon Johnson after he got up there and lied and think he did a great job. This is him at the press conference yesterday.
Hi, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being patient today. I know today was a very long, very arduous hearing, but today
I'm out.
I was able to
lie like a mother.
Express to this committee all of the hard work that I've done since I've been mayor to drive violent crime down in the city of Chicago. This year, we're headed in the right direction again already. 20%, over 20% of violent crime is down in the city of Chicago.
I have to stop it for a second.
The violent crime is down because people have been arrested, bro. That's why the crime is down. It's not because of anything you've done. I mean, it's just
exactly
horrible. It's horrible.
And the thing, I can't believe it. He's sitting up here. The people in Chicago are actually suffering. People at the city council meeting calling him, let this nigga, Tom Hoban, come get this nigga, all of that. And now he telling the world that the people in Chicago are behind him. Let's go. I can hardly go ahead. Let's get some more of him right now.
Chicago. That's the result of a comprehensive approach towards community safety, investing in our young people, 45% increase in summer youth employment jobs. We'll continue to do that. We're building more homes so that people can afford to live in the city of Chicago. As you all know, I've reopened 3 mental health clinics. We've expanded the CARE program, and we've invested in technology, hired 200 detectives, as I promised, and our clearance rate continues to go up as well.
Hold it. There's another lie, because the recall petition for him is supported by the Chicago Police Department, the Fraternal Order of the Police Department. They have all come against him. Why don't he tell the people of the world how there was police officers who died in the line of duty because he refused to keep a network like Shock Spotters up so that they could see criminals, that he canceled the contract, and police officers have died because of that. And they told him, don't you come nowhere near the funeral. And here he is talking about how he working with the police. To the people of Chicago, he's a damn liar. We know that he has to go.
Wow.
A better, stronger, safer Chicago is possible because we're doing everything that I promised that I would do as mayor of the city of Chicago to invest in people. And that's why we're seeing the public safety results that we're seeing. Crime continues to go down. There's a lot more work for us to do, but we are headed in the right direction.
Right, so Mayor Johnson, if I may,
please, of course.
Notwithstanding what you said, this is about the city sanctuary, city status. And just a few moments ago, the chairman came out, and even though there weren't the fireworks that we might have expected, he does say federal funding is at risk if the mayors continue to obstruct. So you still have a problem here, don't you?
This is about safety, right? This is what they brought up.
This is about cutting federal funding.
Thank you.
Well, that is, but respectfully, that is safety. If you cut services from people, that does affect community safety. What we've asked this body to do is to join in the work that I'm doing.
That's Barack Obama talking.
Are you going to give me a chance to finish my response, though?
Okay, there's the hands.
All right, it's okay.
Yeah, that's Barack Obama.
That it's incumbent upon this body to support the efforts that I have put forth in the city of Chicago to drive violence down. Now, look, we have representation that's here in Washington. We're going to continue to make sure that our representation shows up for the people of Chicago. Here's my last point. The residents of Chicago, we send billions of tax dollars to Washington, D.C. It's incumbent upon D.C. to actually pay the residents of the city of Chicago their fair share. Go ahead, Greg.
Now, hold up. Did you hear what he just said?
I did.
He sent billions of tax dollars to Washington, D.C. Taxpayer dollars. But he done spent millions and billions of dollars of the taxpayers' money on illegal aliens here in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, and he was directed to. And my whole thing is, I want to know who that person is. Because I know the mayors are on the hot seat. I want to know Who told you to do it? Now, a lot of people will off the cuff say, well, it was Joe Biden. It wasn't Joe Biden.
It wasn't Joe Biden.
Which one of his senators, his House representatives, told him to do this? Because it comes back to them, because they bring the money back.
Yes.
And they direct and say, hey, we're bringing back money for this specific issue that you want funded. Who is directing this ship on this? And I'm sure it's going to come down to, unfortunately, the Democrat Party. But who is it?
It is.
Who is it? I want that person.
It could be Congressman Robin Kelly out in the suburbs. It could be Jonathan Jackson, now that he got put into play a couple of years ago with 200 votes. I mean, all of them. It could be Kwame Raoul, the Attorney General. All of them are subjugating the money because they're not acting as individuals. They're acting as a collective. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
If they
the bill.
Yeah, exactly. If they were acting as individuals, they would be doing what's best for the citizens in the state of Illinois.
Right,
That's
exactly.
but they are not. They've been indoctrinated once they get into office. I don't know what the hell's wrong with his hair up here. I've seen that little thing where a lot of where they come up like it's a little pyramid on the top of their head. But that's pure evil. And see, a lot of people might not see that, but this is definitely a cult. The Democratic Party has become a cult. Their whole mission, and we already see it in our community, is to destroy the Black community, to destroy the American culture with the woke DEI stuff. They done got busted. It's time for the American people to stand up against this woke ideology and get these people out of office before they destroy our country. A little bit more of this, okay?
Okay.
Representative Luda said that she is going to refer this matter, and you mayors.
Look at his eyes, lifeless.
What are your concerns,
Look at
if
him.
any, about the possibility of charges being brought against you and the other mayors?
Look at him.
Well, I mean, if that happens, our legal team, our corporate counsel will review those documents and proceed accordingly. But again, our focus is making sure that the people of Chicago are safe. Marianne?
It seemed as if at times there were personal attacks. Overall, you didn't lose your cool. Do you feel as if you walk out of here as like, okay, I came what I was expected to do?
Well, as I said, thank you for the question. I'm always going to be who I am. The people of Chicago elected a husband, a father, a middle school teacher, someone who comes out of the working class to represent our values. And, I'm not going to shy or cower simply because people don't believe in investing in young people.
I have to stop it there for a second. The people of Chicago, you represent our values. You represent our city. You see, these are blatant lies. And the people of Chicago watching the show, he is a blatant, habitual liar. Because we don't support him. We don't want him.
Right.
His ratings is down to 6%.
And those are facts.
And these are facts. So these are blatant lies to the American people and patriots across this country. Just like all the other mayors, it's time for him to go, man. I'll stomach much more of this I can before we get out of here. You guys got to see this clown.
Investing in mental health, investing in housing, driving violent crime down in the city of Chicago. So I promised that I would come here and represent working people, and that's exactly what I did.
How do you feel you did, and how did you prepare?
Well, look, it's a lot easier to speak to the values of our city when you believe in them, right? And so, I will say this. Being a middle school teacher in the Chicago Public Schools certainly prepares you for this committee.
He got fired from his job.
Well, I mean,
as unqualified
there are
teacher.
A lot of people in this country who want Washington to actually invest in people. To hear congressional leaders from all over the country express a desire to invest in the people of this country, that was encouraging to hear. I mean, it's what I've been doing as mayor, and I'll continue to do that.
You seem to receive some of the most personal attacks out of any other of the mayors sitting there. Why do you think that is, and was it not tempting to kind of respond to those directly head on?
Well, look, I represent the greatest freaking city in the world. I mean, the city of Chicago is beautiful, and I wake up every single day
Rich with your
working
broke
hard
ass
to
after
make
you
sure
stole
that
all that money.
People of Chicago are safe. And
Wait a minute. He said people in
in
Chicago are safe?
But we are headed in the right direction. Violent crime continues to go down. You know,
That's
I
a
don't
lie.
take this stuff personal. I was elected to represent the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
Last month, President Trump said that him and his administration are looking into deporting American citizens who commit crimes to foreign prisons in places like El Salvador. What is your message to Black Chicagoans who are concerned that Trump's immigration policies may be a slippery slope for Black Americans?
Well, it's one thing for sure that Black folks in Chicago certainly understand why we have to have constitutional policing and real oversight over policing. You know, I've referenced James Montgomery, the first Black corporate counsel, and he was the one that recommended.
James Montgomery. I know James Montgomery from a child. To the people of Chicago, let me tell you about James Montgomery while he's sitting up here talking about James Montgomery. James Montgomery was one of the first Black lawyers. He was the lawyer of Eloise Barton, who was my grandmother, the alderman of the 16th Ward. James Taylor, I grew up under them, Gus Savages. All those Negroes was thieves. All of them, even grandmama was a thief. But there was honor amongst thieves. And those old thieves took care of the community. Those old thieves made sure that the schools were good. Those old thieves made sure that Black people had business. Those old thieves made sure that the constituents were well taken care of. James Montgomery now is nothing but a carpetbagger. He got most of all his contracts from the city of Chicago. He doesn't even come back to the Black community. So this idiot talking about somebody who he think has a great name in the city of Chicago, James Montgomery never had a good name in the city of Chicago. He doesn't have one now. And if he represents this idiot, he'll die and go to his grave knowing that he supported another politician, like all the other governors who went to jail here in Illinois.
The first Black mayor of Chicago, why we cannot allow local law enforcement to deviate from local responsibilities. Anytime you have law enforcement that's running amok, we have seen over the course of decades of how that type of lack of trust and lack of accountability has harmed Black people. That's why I'm proud that the first Black mayor and the first Black corporate counsel, now me as a Black man, the first Black woman
What did I
corporate
tell
counsel, we ride in that history of understanding why Black folks have to have leadership that puts checks and balances within law enforcement.
Okay, Doc, I can't take no more.
Wow. Gassing and lighting and more gassing and lighting. Like if there was a picture definition gaslighting, like he
that was it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Mr. Gaslighting. Oh my gosh. It's unfortunate. And again, I'm going to say this to people out there. Our faces in high places. All skin folk ain't kin folk. Okay, understand that. And I can't stand it when they're the black folks. Why can't we be Americans?
Exactly.
You know, yes, Black Americans, but I'm still an American. I'm still a
Exactly.
citizen, not a resident. Stop that. You completely destroyed this city. I don't even know if there's anything left. And the only reason, again, that the crime is going down is because Tom Homan went in there day 2. I don't even know if it was 24 hours. He was like, let's go. And he went in there and arrested every single body he could. And then came back on Fox and was like, I'm still not satisfied. I still need more. I mean, this man is going 24/7 to make sure that this country is safe.
And then Brandon has ordered the organizations to teach the illegals how to avoid getting arrested by ICE.
Right. And that's where the federal crimes are coming.
They got them.
And that's what Anna Paulina Luna has recommended to AG Pam Bondi. And I'm really looking forward to the perp walks on this one. For these
like I said yesterday, I met with some DOJ people, and I recommended that they hold the money and do a Doge audit here in Chicago, so that the taxpayers here can find out where the money is at. We can find out just about how much money that the general counsel of Jim Montgomery and the first other Black, whatever he said it is, representing him, They need to be held accountable because
Yeah.
there have been the ones, also the assistant mayor, Walter Barnett on the west side, who they're washing money through the system for the fraternities, sororities. All of this is going to come up under the Doge audit that I requested yesterday from the Department of Justice. Doc, your last words, we got to get out of here, baby.
Yes. Well, when you see all these things occurring, lift up your eyes towards heaven because your redemption is drawing near. And with that, please make sure you check out the USA Redemption Party. We are looking for candidates to be servants of the people, not politicians, as you saw on display in the video from the different states. Those are not the people we're looking for. We are looking for people who truly want to serve their community because that's what's needed, as you can see what's been happening. And we also need members of the party to continue to share the word. So again, check out usaredemptionparty.com.
Doc, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. And folks, I want to thank you for tuning into the show. These are my last words to the American people and patriots across this country. What we saw today was a travesty of justice. What we saw was treasonous, that these mayors would get up and they would lie or not even answer the questions when they are already guilty of treason to this country and violating federal immigration laws. Now, it is up to us as the people who put President Trump in and made a mandate by the landslide. It is up to us to support whatever endeavors that he does, this way that we can clean house. The decision that the Supreme Court made regarding the stoppage of paying contracts for the U.S. aid office. Listen, people of America, do not get disturbed by what the Supreme Court did. They actually told and sent the case back down to the judge to do the right thing. The money that Elon Musk found, all the money that has been stolen through U.S. aid, that money, that $2 billion is not going to be handed over to Stacey Abrams no matter what. So the Democratic Party can forget about it. And also to President Trump camp, I'm requesting a Doge here. I spoke to DOJ on yesterday about doing a Doge. I'm asking the president to withhold the money from these mayors, especially here, withhold the federal funding here in the state of Illinois, and make J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson get up off the money that they have already stolen from the taxpayers. They need that money so bad, and this is why I'm asking President Trump, hold the federal funding and see how soon that they find that money, because once he withholds that funding, and rightfully so, because they have broken federal laws, immigration laws, then we're going to find out exactly where the money went, and then Pam Bundy and the Justice Department will be able to provide arrest warrants for not only Brandon Johnson, but for the rest of the Democratic Party that have helped him steal and evade criminals here in the United States. God bless you, folks. We got to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great evening. Let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. I really